look, what's the future? What next? I suppose it says that on the thumbnail. What next? Ineos have got a massive decision to make. Obviously, a lot of people are saying sack the manager. Obviously, a lot more are saying back the manager. The press are not behind him. And I want to sort of just... I struggle with the whole mantra of sack the manager, get rid of him, it's not acceptable. And then you ask these people what they want to do. I don't care as long as he gets sacked. And you sort of like go, do you realise we're walking into something worse? I mean, for example, there are people on social media, there's people I know who for 4 or 5 weeks have been saying, let's get De Zerbi. He got spanked again today. I mean, do you realise it will cost 20 million to get De Zerbi? And he's performing terribly. I mean, but people were telling us De Zerbi's the guy to go and get. He's the hipster coach, and he clearly isn't. And this is what I mean. Sometimes you take a beat, you wait a month, and the manager you thought was the guy ain't the guy. And then you're like, you've made a mistake if you'd gone for him. So I think Ineos have got a massive decision to make here. And what do they do? So I want to go through who the betting odds are for the manager, and also just sort of get a bit of interaction from you as to what it is you want to do, because the Ten Hag out crew are very, very good at screaming and shouting and professing and saying, I want the manager out, but you're not very good at giving us alternatives. So I'd like to go through that and also throw the show towards what Ineos are going to do and what a big decision it is. Now, Ten Hag sacking himself is really, I disagree with this. But Melissa Reddy is a respected journalist. She's been on the United Stand. She goes on tour with United. She's one of Sky Sports News' main reporters. Whatever you think about that is for you personally. But when she is sat on a show on Sky Sports on a Sunday saying the word is that Ten Hag is sacking himself, I think that's quite a big statement. And we all make statements, and there has to be accountability for those statements. You can't just throw it out there. So I don't know what Melissa Reddy's source is, and I don't know what Melissa Reddy's motivation is behind that. But Ten Hag sacking himself, from what she was saying, sounds to me like it's some of the comments he's coming out with publicly. And I think it's more to do with the things like last night where he was saying we're one of the most dynamic, entertaining teams in the Premier League. Those sort of comments might be sort of ridiculing himself and effectively sacking himself. I sort of disagree with that in the sense that Sir Jim Ratcliffe himself was quoted as saying he wants a manager that's glass half full. He doesn't want a negative manager. I mean, he actually said I can't believe that people think or thought a month ago that we might give Mourinho the job. When you listen to what Sir Jim Ratcliffe has said about Mourinho in the past, he won't go anywhere near him. He's publicly said Mourinho was negative and destroyed the confidence of Luke Shaw. And that's our owner. So he ain't going to go anywhere near. And this is what I mean. I think homework is so important. Whether it's homework for school, homework for an exam, whatever, doing your homework is really important because it prevents you being an idiot. And I know that's a harsh lesson in life, but if you don't do your homework, you're going to get found out by the people who did. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe has spoken openly about negativity and Mourinho and wanting managers that are positive and project positivity and a strong belief. So I sort of disagree with Ten Hag might be sacking himself with coming out with positive messages at a time where the club is on its knees. We don't have a CEO. We don't have a director of football. And Ten Hag is basically running the club on his own as a manager, as the PR piece. And he is trying to project positivity, which is seen by you, and some of you ridicule it, but it also be seen by the players who he's trying to keep up with some very key games to go. So I don't think he's sacking himself. I think he's ridiculing himself to a fan base that doesn't want him in relation to the people that don't want him. And I think he's ridiculing himself to a media that's very vocal that doesn't want him. But I don't think Sir Jim Ratcliffe will be sat there when Ten Hag is trying to be positive, saying he's an idiot. Why is he not being more negative? Why isn't he saying we're shit? I don't actually think Man United, in my experience, would have a problem with Ten Hag trying to convey a positive message. I just think the media are ridiculing it, as they always would do. So I don't know who that's coming from, and I do respect Melissa Reddy, but I don't know where that's coming from. And I don't necessarily think his post-match interviews are sacking Ten Hag. And if anything, it's laughable. We don't have access to the information that Sir Jim Ratcliffe's got or Jason Wilcox has got, in the sense that They get to see behind the curtain. They know what's going on in training. They know what's going on in conversations with Ten Hag. I think when the media are trying to pick up on the fact that Ten Hag might be sacking himself based on post-match press conferences, it's ridiculous. So Ineos are going to look at a post-match press conference and decide to sack him when they can actually have him in a meeting room or watch him, observe him training. They're going to use those sort of things. They're going to use those sort of anecdotes. So look, by all means, ridicule what Ten Hag said yesterday in a press conference. That's fine. That's your perception. That's your opinion. But I genuinely don't think that those things are going to be of any relevance to Ineos. I think they're going to be looking at far more in-depth things. And look, reality is, I don't know what Ten Hag's like as a person, but they will. And if there's something in his personality they like, maybe they keep him. And if there's something in his personality they don't like and the way he deals with things, they'll get rid of him. It won't be based on press conferences, in my opinion. Why can't you accept he's not good enough? Says Sule. Your logic is there's no option to let's keep an awful one. Our mental health is draining. Get him gone. Sule, you're a dangerous person who chats shit constantly, and I'm not accepting it. Don't put words in my mouth and don't tell me what my logic is. I put a lot of time into this community, and so does this community. Don't speak for me. Don't tell me what I think. My logic is not there's no one else out there, let's keep him. That's not my logic at all. My logic is that I want to see a different approach. I don't want to see a manager sacked and blamed like we've done 3 or 4 times before. And I actually want to see a clear out of players for the first time in 10 years. That's my logic. Don't twist my words. Don't put those... If you're worried about your mental health, stop pretending people are saying things that they're not saying. Okay? Let's have a real conversation. Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video because we all know only legends like videos and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always.